Hello and welcome. We're here with Eamon Fitzgerald of Naked Wines. He is the Wine Development Manager, which is one of my favourite job titles of all time, simply because it has wine in it. How are you doing, Eamon?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
Good stuff. So what does your job title, what does your job entail?
Well, my job is essentially I scour the globe for winemakers to make wine for us. Yeah,
Sounds absolutely awful. You get to travel as well as drink
wine.
wine.
Yeah, a little bit of travel.
That's just added more. You should be global wine development officer. That's what you should be. So what are we doing here? We're at the startup show.
I just out of a keynote speech I gave on Naked Wines and how not to be a dinosaur. So talking about innovation, relentless innovation, and how we've got to where we are now in 3 years.
That's interesting. I think people will probably be watching this thinking, well, Naked Wine's clearly a wine company. The title's called How Not to Be a Dinosaur, and you're talking about innovation. Yeah. Why is your company innovative?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's a wine company in a wine industry, which is, 2,000 years old. It's backward, it's old-fashioned. The wine industry respects tradition rather than innovation. And we've managed to go in there despite competitors like Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Waitrose, Wine Society, all these, big guys, and we've managed to carve out a position for ourselves. We've done that through innovation.
Okay. And so, how long have you been with the company?
I've been with the company 6 months.
So a relative newbie.
Yeah, absolutely.
When did it all start?
It started just under 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So Rowan Gormley, who's our founder, worked in Virgin and set up a few companies there, and he took 12 of his loyal but possibly crazy staff in the midst of a recession, took them away from the company and started a new company called Naked Wines. Right. And recognizing everything that was wrong with the wine industry, he wanted to turn it completely on its head and create something new and different. And 3 years later, we've created 200,000 customers, invested 10 million in independent winemakers.
Wow.
We ship 10,000 bottles a day, which is the same as filling a double-decker bus, and we're profitable.
Wow, that's a pretty incredible story.
It's pretty impressive growth, again, in an industry which is just, it's so backward.
Yeah. When you consider as well that you're probably still regarded as, in terms of time frame, probably a small to medium-sized enterprise.
Absolutely, and I mean we've only got 35 people working for us.
Yeah. But that growth seems exponential. It seems like you're growing year upon year, sort of doubling.
Yeah, we're doubling turnover year on year.
Wow, what an impressive business model. So is there anyone else out there doing a similar thing?
Well, outside of the wine industry, you've got quite innovative companies like Made, so they're a furniture industry. So like what we do at winemakers, they get talented furniture designers and carpenters to make design furniture for customers and get customers to pre-make it. Also, Unbound, a similar idea in the book industry. So again, getting authors people bid on a book to be written, and if you get enough bids, the author will write the book and sell the book.
That was quite a recent thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, these are companies that are really innovative, and you get companies who just innovate, and they're only improving a business, but you get other game changers who are really shaking up their industries.
And there was I remember with the one about was it Bound?
Unbound.
Unbound.
Yeah.
One of the points made against that was that perhaps there was a reason that authors weren't being commissioned by the publishers. Does that work with wine? I mean, do you get kind of bad wine, or is that how do you vet your winemakers?
Well, I mean, we've got 22 full-time winemakers making wine for us, earning a living out of working with Naked Wines. We have funded 300 wines over the 3 years, and only 2 of them have turned out to be a disaster.
Right, okay.
And in that case, we just sell off the local wine on the bulk market, the local bulk market, and split the losses halfway.
Oh, I see.
So in general, it's just the way we select winemakers. Yeah. We find guys working in big wineries, or working for prestigious wineries, or working for tiny family wineries, and we just make sure they've got they're talented winemakers, they've got a track record, they can deliver excellent wines at keen prices.
Okay. So I know you haven't been with Naked Wines for the duration from start to this point, but have you noticed that because you're in such a stage of growth, what have you noticed about managing that growth? And I know as the kind of wine manager, development manager, you might not know about that part of the business, but presumably as there are only 2 staff, you must have come across a few hurdles.
I mean, it's quite a nice, it's a good question. It's quite a nice virtuous circle we've got going on with our customers. So the whole idea of the business is that customers invest in independent winemakers, and who exchange get preferential prices. So we've got an angel scheme. So if you're a wine angel, you invest £20 a month into your wine account. We take that money and then we invest it in independent winemakers to make wine for us. So we've got over 50,000 wine angels. So that gives us over £1 million a month to go out, search for winemakers to make wine for us. And theoretically, because it's such a circle, the more customers we get, the more wines we can make, and the more winemakers we can attract. So we can actually manage to grow quite well.
And so where does it stop? I mean, because you are growing at such a rapid rate.
Yeah.
Are you looking to expand globally? And if so, what's your strategy for that?
I mean, I'm not sure about global at the moment, but certainly there's still a lot of growth to be had in the UK. Eventually, of course, it will peak, but there's still, we're growing at a phenomenal rate, and we're going to keep focusing on that for now.
What do you think it seems like you have a sound business model, and you've clearly considered growth very, very carefully. What's the key part of that success, do you think, for Naked Wines?
I'd say innovation. So relentless innovation.
Yeah, comes back to that again.
Yeah. I mean, our whole business model is just completely different to the current industry, and we're doing things all the time to improve things. For example, I mean, what makes us stand out from other wine retailers is several things. One of them is our customers. So we involve our customers at every stage of the buying process. We're not like a traditional wine merchant where we don't have a wine buyer. We let our customers do it. So, I mean, last month we invited 50 of our customers to an Argentina tasting. We got 125 unknown winemakers from Argentina to send in their wines. And at the end of the tasting, they picked a winner. We put it on our site the next day, and we sold out 80 grand of the wine in 24 hours.
That's pretty.
So I mean, it's a pretty powerful example of crowdsourcing.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you were speaking earlier on, did you get any interesting questions? Anyone throw you off?
I did.
Anything you'd like to relay back to us? I mean, were there any interesting points that?
I mean, one guy asked, could this model apply to other industries, or could another drinks beverage? And yeah, he said, could this model apply to another drinks beverage? And I said, well, it can apply to any other industry. Yeah. They're doing it in books, they're doing it in furniture.
Yeah, of course.
Where's the limit? It's just the idea of getting customers to commit money up front. If the deal is done, then the product is commissioned, whatever that product is. It takes out the risk, takes out the financing, it takes out the selling costs. And at the end of the day, you're getting products that are made that wouldn't have been possible to be made before at a much cheaper price.
It almost sounds not too good to be true, but I can't believe it's not been done before.
Absolutely. We said the same.
And I'm amazed at how many businesses I find that I'm thinking, why didn't I think of that? It's so infuriating sometimes.
I mean, and we've identified that with our latest project. I mean, it's called Wine Demon. So it's an iPhone app and mobile site for wine ratings. So we had an external group come back to us with an idea a few months ago, and it was around in the mobile space and restaurants. And they said there's a real big opportunity there that there's no app out there for customers and wine recommendations. We initially dismissed it because we thought we're an online wine dealer, nothing to do with restaurants. Then we saw it as a threat because we said if someone actually does go into that space, they potentially have the richest, most useful customer database possible. You've got guys who rate wine, who drink wine, who've got a bit of money, and who get tech. So we've basically created a spin-off business to Naked Wines called Wine Demon. We've taken 5 or 6 guys from our core team, put them downstairs, and now they're running an iPhone app which is available now for you to download in the iTunes store. So
I like that you put them downstairs. That's quite nice touch. Pop them down there.
The demons in the dungeon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds exciting times, and I would really employ. I've been to the website and I've had a look around. Just a great business model. If you like wine, there's just nothing better, is there?
Yeah.
So let's end on one thing that you think, as we're at the Business Startup Show, and as this is going out to lots of SMEs and young businesses, have you got one thing that you could pass on to them that you think they would find? I mean, I know we're going back to innovation all the time. It's quite difficult for them just to be innovative. Yeah. Do you have any other advice you might?
Maybe not just innovative, but I mean, what we've done is just turned an industry on its head. And working with Rowan Gormley, who's the founder of our company, he's had so much industry experience working with Virgin, working with Richard Branson, people like this.
So it's maybe about looking at things from different angles.
Exactly. Look, whether it's an argument, whether it's a discussion, whether it's a business idea, just look at it from the other angle.
Yeah, great business advice. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming down, Eamon.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
We enjoyed it.